Alright, hi everybody. So this is going to be a video about custom concrete homes. Even though we can build any kind of house, or you can, and how to do the drawings, or what I call the blueprints, and other parts of it in the series here. It's easier for sometimes people to do the list first, the list of building materials. But for me, I like to do the drawing so I can see, and that's what I'm used to doing. And you can use any program you want, but the one I use usually, and I used to not use programs, I just use a piece of paper, and you can do that too. But you can, but when you digitize it, it's like doing the work twice. So I just go straight to the digitized version now, or the computer version. It's actually a program called Visio. Okay. It's not here. And I do have it installed, but it's in another part here. There you go. Let's go to C drive. I got a lot of extra stuff. These are photos that actually I typed the names in that I created all by myself. Actually, just me. If you call yourself one person. Because your Holy Spirit is like another person. It really is, inside of you. And now, so what do we have to find? Okay, so we got two program files. So if you're not familiar with the Windows system here, there's actually a program folder called Program Files. It has most of your programs. Now some programs that are kind of standalone can be put in other locations, really anywhere in the tree of your hard drive, or the directory, as they call it, or directory. And this is where most of them are. I think Visio is going to be at the bottom here, if I'm lucky. It's not there. Where is it? Have I even installed it on here? I could have sworn I installed it already. Alright, we might have not have installed it. Because I gotta go to software. This is where I keep my software copies. And I don't see Visio in here yet. Alright, I gotta get my spare drive here, and I'll do it while we're talking. So usually when you're drawing out the drawings, you could put prices on there. You know, that'd be kind of interesting. I've never seen one like that. But usually you're focused on the construction of it. You know, what do you build first? What do you build next? Like, the order is very important. If you don't think that you can do it in any order, and any order would work. That's what you think at first, but like really, there's a better order that works for you. So when you're doing construction, I suggest that you clear the land first. So I usually work on undeveloped land, so there's some trees, then you do the dirt work, and then you set up wherever you can your carport. And then how do you live on your land? You basically got to pull in a camper or trailer. Make sure you got your mobile heating unit if it's an area that's going to be cold. You know, if you're lucky enough to be like in where I am in Texas in the summer, areas that are warm in the world, then it doesn't really matter much. Then it's like, you know, if you're going to build only in the summer, you'll be fine. The prime summer months, not like the half summer months. So here we go. This is the hard drive that I keep my copy of Visio on. And then this setup here is a really nice cable, which you can get on eBay. That's the cheapest place I know to get it. eBay account, as I call it. Just type in. And there's different cables. They're not. This cable won't work for every single hard drive. This is a SATA cable, SATA 1 cable to USB. So I think it's recognized now. So we go to Holy God. If you're atheist, I'm sorry. I love Athens. But I'm very theist. So I'm all into God. And religious things, spiritual things. What am I looking for? Oh, I remember the Visio. I think I put it here. Let's see if we can search for it. You're not familiar with the Windows search. If you type and select a folder, it'll search within the folder most of the time. You know, there's exceptions when things go a little oddly, but that's a good sign. We found something like a room layout. That one's a pre-done one that somebody else has already done. So in Visio, you can actually do easy kind of layouts of a room, a 2D top-down view. And I've used it a few times over the years. I don't do drawings every single day, which I don't think anybody does, but you know, like 5 days a week, like a full-time drawer. But I am proficient where, you know, anything you draw by hand, we can replicate. But actually, you can just scan things directly into the computer if you just want to do that instead, and not worry about the computer drawings yet. If you're, you can just go off by hand drawings. That's perfect, you know. And that works too. Just I like to do the digital drawings because it helps me create a 3D model, which is nice for purposes. So where's the Visio folder? God. It's kind of weird that it's not there. So I remember saving one that just said Visio. Now you're wondering which version of Visio I use. I use actually one that's kind of old. It's almost like obsolete now. It's 2008, I think. So, and it's one that was recommended by my father, actually. I've grown to like it. At first I was like, ooh, this stuff's going to be hard to use, and I kind of hated it. But after I learned how to use it, it wasn't so bad. Okay, where is the Visio folder? Sorry it's taking so long. Now, while you're waiting, you can pull up your booklet and kind of sketch out what you want to draw. Another part I like to do is a schedule. You know, is you really in a month you have 30 days or so, 31 in some months, but you have only about 20 days to really build if you're, you know, putting full-time hours in. If you're doing part-time, depends on how many hours you're going to put. You know, if you're putting half a time versus 3/4 of a time or whatever. But you'll still get there. You know, even if it takes you a year to build, that's pretty awesome for your first house. And you find out that you have more freedom when you build your own home. But you actually have the same freedom even when you purchase a home. You just don't always realize it. But, you know, both situations are good. I'm trying to remember where I put. I'm guessing it's in software tools. copy of Visio here. Oh, here we go. Visio Pro. It's a 2007 version, sorry. So we're going to copy that, and then we're going to put it on drive C. And I'm just going to drop it right in the software folder. You know, I'm using Windows 10 here, so if you're familiar with Windows, you got to get used to it. It's not as cool as the Apple. Like some people think Apple's cool. I'm like, it's okay. I find it about the same. It's just different words. Instead of folder, you might have some other cool word. I think there's not a recycle bin, but it's like just a bin. Or it used to be trash. I remember on some Apples, like the Apple 1, I think my cousin, or Apple 2 my cousin had, it just said trash. But it had a really cool game that I liked. With this helicopter thing, jetpack. Like if you ever play that game, please give me the name of that, because I want to replay that one. Even just seeing a video of it would make me happy. But it was a really fun game. Even though I didn't like it, it was hard, but there was things flying that would hit you. So that's one of my other hobbies I like. I like video games. And I did work officially at a real Nintendo branch of the company. Technically one of the headquarters. Okay. So now we got our software. And let's see. I guess we gotta install Visio now. We gotta put in the software key, which I have in this RTF file, which is from, it's a format that I got inside of, sorry, there was a horsefly there, Microsoft WordPad. And then these are keys that I've actually bought. So from God. I know nobody else is gonna believe me, but yeah, how much? It was cheap, like 20 bucks. Okay, and now I like going through custom sometimes just to make sure I have what I need, because it shows you each part in here. It only takes a few seconds. Plus, I'm not sure how you find this installation options thing after you've installed it. It does exist. I just am, I'm not the most, what do you call, knowledgeable and understanding about all of Microsoft software. I have used some of the newer ones, like the 2010, I think, version of this software, of Office Suite, it used to be called, but I don't actually have this on this computer, partly because it's really a big installation. Unless you have terabytes of room, I only have 300 something gigabytes, but like I think I've used up over 150, almost 160 actually too. So while that's installing, so I guess I didn't install it. No. I installed it on another hard drive, so I might have forgot. These computers look exactly the same. They're actually to the same model. You're wondering what computer I use. The camera as part of the computer. It's a laptop. It's actually a EliteBook HP 84760p. Now there's one that's almost like an 84760p. Which is, I think, a little bit smaller. So that works really well. I do like the smaller computers, but they're so light. But like this one has a nice bigger screen and a little more power that I needed. So it's just, you got to be careful with the video on this. This is what my dad always talks to me about. don't use too much of the video games and video playing, because it'll burn out your computer. And give it a break, monitor the temperature, just to kind of feel. If it gets too hot, turn it off, or turn on the air conditioner, turn on the fan. Turning it off and letting it cool, and putting something cool on it. That's probably the best thing. Something to cool it, so, or one cool it. I always wonder why we use the word "to" in English, as if it's another word. We should use another word. It always sounds like we're shouting at a number, right? 1, 2, but 2's a word, so. All right, it's installing slowly. I would open up one of my other files to show you. There's one I think my dad created, and it's actually a drawing of the beams. Because in this house, there's actually a beam behind us right there. So this is actually a almost 14 feet. It's 12 to 14 depending if you count the base on both the top and the bottom, or where it connects to, which is another beam. And these are actually separate. When we were making it, we used the sono tube. So if you're not familiar with that is, it's just a cardboard tube. And then you actually should set up a frame around it to keep it still. But if you put the rebar in first, and then just put the tube over it, and then seal the tube somehow, it can stick, but it might move a little. And then you want to make sure your rebar is perfectly straight. You might have to bend it at the right angle, so, and then keep it still. Ideally, you would do all the beams in the house in like a day, but it took us about a week, because we had to do them section by section. And one of the other challenges you have is how to mix the concrete fast enough. If you have a cement truck here the whole time, like one, you might get away with it if nothing else happens. But really, you should have a second one on hand, or remixing two, not only at the same time, but to get it done on time, but also in case the first truck gets stuck, or the first team gets tired. But if you got multiple people working on it, it's going to be two different teams, so it's something to manage. And if you're the first team, you're the lead, so you got to help and do whatever you can. All right, I think it's installed. So thanks to the guy who sold me that copy of Visio. I really like it. Okay, so Visio now should be installed in here. And I don't see it anywhere. There we go, it's at the top. I was concerned. I was like, great, no, that's not working either. All right, here's Visio. So there's different things that are preset here. You could create more here if you learn how to edit the Visio software, but we could go to engineering. There's construction engineering, but this is actually for like electric engineering. There's basic circuits here, so if you wonder what these little symbols are and how strange they look strange to me though. I take electric and electronic classes. I do have some education, and we'll talk about that later. My father is actually formally educated in electronics with a degree, actually, I think two, both art and science degrees, so it's like a dual one. And then he has a lot of experience in there. Basically anything electronic he can make. He's worked on it so long, and it's like basically the same thing over and over again. Though there's a lot of different things like with the new electric cars and electric planes and boats, and then if you want to put all those together to make some kind of vessel that could do all three, which is, I think, the best design, to be honest. You know, that you can go in the water, but you go on a boat, and if you could submerge too and go to space, it's pretty much, you know, the first ones you think of doing. And then how would you go through the sun? That's the next one, like in Voyager or other, like Stargate. They call it fictional stories, but my God, it looks so real. I think it's really like an image of a ship that exists in the heavens above, you know, in the planets above us. Well, let's go to the floor plan maps here. Oh, this is kind of cool, directional maps. So we'll go with the home plan first, because you can do like commercial buildings. It's basically the same. You know, a commercial building sounds fancy and all that, but it's still like somebody's home. And the basic structures are going to be the same. You still got doors, still got windows, still got you know, electrical requirements, still got water requirements, still got HVAC requirements. And these are preset, where you can just shove in a room. Let me just drop a room here just for fun. There you go, it's already done. And then you can actually edit that. Almost anything you want if you're really good at adding code and everything. Editing code. Which I sometimes am good at certain things, but I surely don't know everything. I'm still learning. And then you just put in a door. It's drag and drop is what they call it. So you can put this door anywhere, and then you can actually rotate the door, I think. If you, like, there you go. If you get this red circle here, so you can twist it around at any angle you want. Some doors are at certain angles. Like some rooms aren't all perpendicular. Most are, you know, at your perpendicular angles. 90 degrees, 0 degrees, 180 and 270 and 360. But some doors are at a 45-degree angle. I've seen rooms like that rarely, but then you'll need to know how to do that. And then you can add other things you want to. So the only difference between a wood and a concrete house, the basic difference at first is the material you use, but the way you assemble it is different. But you got to mix this concrete. It comes in bags that are pretty heavy. It's hard to find a bag that's only 30 pounds or 20 pounds, which is probably easier to work with. But most of the time when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, even concrete contractors, you're looking at bags that are 90 pounds, 85 pounds, sometimes almost 100 pounds, you know, 95 pounds. And they look small, you know, they're only about half the size of your body. But then, lifting them is hard because your hand's only about a pound, to be honest, and then your arm's only a few. So that's part of the reason why. And power and weight kind of go together. So these are labeled different things right now, but you can always put another label on them. The labels don't actually show up yet. And here's like an exterior wall. So, and exterior walls are different, that they have materials that actually can last against weather. You're young and you don't know yet what the difference is. You know, you can't put regular sheetrock just outside, because when it rains, it's going to fall apart. It's literally going to ruin, and then I don't think you're ever going to get it back together. Like in your miracle imagination world, yes, you know, but not in the short term reality that we really have. So any senior person will kind of agree to that, be like, yeah, that's kind of true. This is a thing for the slab here. Technically any house has a slab, but how it's built is different. So I have a pet peeve about that. So if you're going to build a tough slab, you need rebar. You really do. You need a rock, and you need a higher grade of concrete. But there's type 1, 2, 3, 4, and technically any number you want to count it as. But the higher the grade cement, the stronger it is, and the longer it'll last. It really helps. So if you want a house that's like 100 years plus, right, or 200 years, let's say, you have to research that kind of cement. I can tell you what I know about it, and it's basically like highway cement, 10,000 psi. That's compressive strength, which used to be like 1,000 psi or 100 psi. If you compare it to the old or original numbers, not old, but they were new then. So the first new numbers. So this is like what a slab looks like. And then you can put like a little window and whatever you want. Here's like a drawing one. This is like from a top-down view, so that's why it looks kind of odd. If you want a better software, one that's easy to get is 3D Architect. There's a free demo, and you can get a free copy first and then pay for it later. So, or you can go to their website, which I'm not sure if it's 3darchitect.com or something like that. You can search for it, you'll find a website for it and pay for it that way. But however you get it, it works about the same, to be honest. So, and then that one's really cool where you can see different things. It's already kind of pre-drawn out, and you can see like a 3D model of your house and get an idea what's it really gonna look like. But this is just top-down view drawing. And I've seen so many homes that I can almost like visualize the whole home in my mind. So here's some furniture here. So here's your chair, let's say, and your recliner. Yeah, when you drop it down, it looks pretty small, but if we go to like 100% zoom, you'll see more detail. So there's a chair there here. This is like a drawing somebody could use to construct the chair. There's actually a furniture maker down the street, or at least he used to make furniture, but now he's always sold propane, but him and his father, John, and I forgot his name. I haven't forgot his name, but I haven't learned his name yet. I need to ask him. He actually made wood furniture, which is really nice. Tables is, I think, the ones he really liked doing. But you can make your own furniture if you like. It doesn't take long just to make one bed, and sometimes it's cheaper and has more options, a little nicer, because you save on the overhead costs and put that into things that you need, like a light or let's say a cabinet in there, or a little shelf, or whatever you want. So there's a whole bunch of other options. There's actually cabinets here too that you can put together, like for a kitchen or even a work area. Sometimes have cabinets to put tools and supplies and materials and wires and all these odds and ends. So there's that horse fly again. So we're just gonna throw this. I might put this all together later. And then up here you got appliances, which are kind of nice. So you got a range here, range 1 and 2. One's bigger than 2, so yeah, I don't know. It's this is a 24-inch range by 30. We have a range. I'm not sure if it's 21 or 22 inches, to be honest. I'm guessing it's at range 2, but I'm just going to go with that. And then you can put it in a microwave. We got one of those. There's actually a video game. That's cool. You know, it's kind of important. You know, sometimes it's nice to be able to play a video game. Like, what video game system looks like that? Is that actually like an arcade game? I haven't seen one of those in a long time. My God, I used to play those at the arcade. I never had one in my school. I heard some schools have it. That's kind of fun for a while. I think it's kind of boring when you want to play real sports, right? And exercise. And then if you want to save this, you know, all the Microsoft software is kind of the same. It's the same basic menu. There's always like new, open, close, save, save as. Sometimes there's an option save as a web page, and that really does make a web page, but it makes a web page in the format, you know, of the program that you're in, not just any format you ever want. That'd be some super combined software that we don't have, or at least I don't have yet. Someone in the universe does, thank God. Alright, so we could say house 1 drawing, and I'm just going to put my name as the author. You see is my name there. That's actually added into the Office suite that I added in. I actually typed that in, so I just put AKP, and then we're going to put the date on here so I remember like how old this drawing is. And it's basically a drawing of the house I'm living in now. So, and then I usually save it. I don't mind if people see my phone or names and stuff, but my God, no. Later on, everybody in the world's going to see this. Like Jesus even says, whatever secret you have is going to be like announced, you know, on the rooftops later on. Like, Anh-Kim loves women. Of course, I love everything. I love all people. So, I love men too. As a father, not as a partner. So at least, well, you know, partner for business, but not a partner for marriage. So I don't know that whole debate. What do you call marriage between a man and a man? I haven't figured it out either. So we call it a union nowadays, but I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, God bless them. You know, because they really have like 2 relationships. So, but they have a wife and a marriage too, between a man and a woman. And they just don't talk about it in front of you. So, okay, so then you can add other stuff here. Television. Oh my God, there's like a CTR TV. You know, that's kind of the older ones per se, but some of them are pretty new. Unless they're just recently made. Electrical and telecom here. So there's like lights, transformer, bell, doorbell, wire connector, smoke detector. Let's put smoke detector. I want one of those. That really helps. Now when it comes to renting, and I have rented units, you want to make the rules clear. You want to support your renter as much as possible and be fair. So, you know, being a little flexible in the payment for the month, depending on their income, is important. And knowing when they're going to leave, because eventually every renter leaves. Now, you can actually pay by hour, to be honest, to make things easier, and then re-rent their room out to somebody else, to be honest. And then if they're not willing to share their items, that's fine. But the rest of the space is somebody else's now. So, and if you keep doing that, you can actually get your rent up to $5,000 a month. You know, instead of renting it just one person, a family, if you charge each person individually, it's better. And then can rent out the living room for like a studio for, let's say, tutoring, and making college degrees, a high school degree, a GED, which can be issued in a day. You don't have to make it so hard where you gotta throw up so many tests, but there's a rule with God, don't test your God. So don't test people either. You find out. That's a pretty good rule. Alright, I gotta unplug something here. So that's about it. There's more options here. You can add and customize your own option if you want to know exactly how to do that. You can check out the videos on YouTube that are available. But I think the Microsoft website will have some information. And then of course you can always go search engine and look at others' websites. And if you have a book on Visio, it might teach you how to do a custom item that you can add. Ideally right here would be like somewhere like add item button, but I've never seen that yet. Or add new item or make new item. Oh, does it come out? Okay. It's always this ambiguous search part of Microsoft, which is so fun. Oh Lord, God help me. It might hang and get stuck sometimes. That's happened to me a few times. Rarely. Thankfully, you can always restart, but yeah, we're not gonna get anything yet. It's literally just doing very little or so slow that it's gonna take a decade for this to finish. Alright, I kind of regret typing something in the search. I thought I would just pull up something like it normally does. My other searches today worked. So, but you find out every software is different. Okay. So that's it. That's all I want to talk about. If you're interested in this software, you can go to the official Visio page. That's the first one most people think about, but actually I got this from a torrent. So if you're interested in purchasing it through that way, that's good too. It's just you might have to manage your own money on this one. Give some to the creator of this software, and then give some to the Microsoft Corporation. At least buy a stock share. Which if you don't have the money on hand, there is a place that gives you free shares. Howthemarketworks.com. That's the one I recommend. Or you can write it on paper. Literally just say one share Microsoft stock. And I think Visio is a different company, to be honest, but whatever you want to do is good. But the more details you have, sometimes you need. Alright, so I think that's it. So let's go back to my Streamlabs here. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. So a little kind of preview and overview and kind of what you start drawing with. And then when it goes to the supply list, I use another Microsoft software or Office software. The Office is actually another company. It's Excel, so it's a spreadsheet. So if you're into Lotus or whatever Apple software you use, Open Office, I use that too sometimes. You can actually write out the supply list, material list, tool list of what you need. And there might be more items on there that you'll find out later. And you just keep collecting those items and collecting those tools and using them, and you can actually rent out tools. Or if you have a credit card, you can actually kind of borrow tools for little costs. If you can return the tool within like a month, it's usually return policy, I think. But you want to ask to make sure, even though legally it's supposed to be any time. Yeah, they're supposed to help you out, not just take your money. So I wish, every company would follow that and help people out and just rent the tools for a fair price. And that would make the most profit, and I think that'd be easier for everyone. And then you could rent the tools from your home too. So, and then contract the work, which we're trying to do in our family. So, and you can contact me on Messenger. I actually have two names. They're both me. Toma Proverbs is like my nickname, and then my birth name was Anh-Kim Phung. So, it's just my Anh-Kim Phung account on Messenger. Please someone help me. Who has admin access? I can log in, but I can't actually see anything. It's kind of odd. Like I just see that the account's been disabled. So the guy's on Facebook Messenger. I need your help on that. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time, and God bless everybody. Always. Sorry, I sneezed there. All right, thanks, and bye. We'll see you on the next vid.